Not that it's a surprise to anybody, but Donald Trump is on the Epstein list. And it turns out there was a list the entire time, because Jeffrey Epstein himself said in emails to Ghislaine Maxwell, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. The victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned by police chief, etc." Which now implicates Ghislaine Maxwell for lying in a federal courtroom saying she's never seen Trump do anything inappropriate, nor was she made aware of him doing anything inappropriate. And when someone's referring to you as the dog that hasn't barked, the same way Trump has claimed to have no idea who Epstein was, but you know someone's guilty when they avoid the question as a whole, which is exactly what Trump did today after the emails got leaked. Let's take a look at this video.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you have questions. I think we really have a really great situation. We have a country that we love, and we have a country that's in great shape. As you know, we have now it's over $18 trillion invested in our country by other people and countries. That's a record. There's never been a country that had so much, and that money's going into also building new auto plants, new AI plants, new everything. We've never had a time like this. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, are you prepared to negotiate with Democrats now?
Mr. President, on Jeffrey Epstein,
thank you very much.
Thank you guys for knowing.
Mr. President, can you respond to these Epstein emails that were released today?
Well done, Mr. President.
We have never seen him look more guilty in our lives. The same way Mike Johnson quickly got off stage because he didn't want to answer the questions about swearing in Adelita Grijalva. But after the government was reopened, he was forced to swear in Adelita Grijalva. And now there's going to be a vote on the Epstein files release come this December, maybe a little earlier than that. For the last over 100 videos, we have ended each video with release the Epstein files, Donald Trump, and here we are. And Mike Johnson was not happy about it, but let's get into these Epstein emails. Right here is an email from Epstein to Michael Wolff, someone who was a very close friend of Epstein and has written 4 books on Donald Trump and his victories after Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016. Epstein says, "Victim, Mar-a-Lago. Trump said he asked me to resign, never remember ever. Of course he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. Not only does this mean that Trump has been in communication with Ghislaine Maxwell to organize his PDF activities, but she denied in court. Epstein alleges he was never even a member of Mar-a-Lago, another potential lie from Trump to make himself look good. This was in 2019 when Jeffrey Epstein was getting investigated for his PDF ring. He was already indicted for PDF activities with minors in 2008, so this was the second one. And it gets a whole lot worse than this. Michael Wolff sends an email to Jeffrey Epstein. "I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible." When asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in the Trump regime. Isn't that exactly what Trump said about Ghislaine Maxwell when he said he would consider her for a pardon? Let's go to that clip. In this clip right here, a reporter asked if he's considering pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, and instead of outright saying no because she was in a trafficking ring, Trump deflects this answer, insinuating that he may just pardon her. And when the reporter says, "But she was convicted of trafficking," Trump said, "I'll have to take a look at it." This is the same person that upgraded her security prison, by the way, after she went in court and lied and said Trump had nothing to do with Epstein, has never been to the house, isn't on the flight logs, and that she's never seen him do anything inappropriate, when these emails directly from Epstein say otherwise. Let's take a look at this clip.
President's term today, Mr. President.
Say it.
The Supreme Court is back, and they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
You know, I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
The thing about Trump is he's a favor for favor type of person. You do something for me, I'll do something for you. And when you're no longer useful, he throws you to the side and forgets about you. And maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't, but this is a Jeffrey Epstein deposition where he answers every single question about his personal relationship with Donald Trump. But when the interviewer asked Epstein about Trump's involvement with minors, all of a sudden Epstein says, "I would love to answer that, but for now I'm going to have to plead the fifth." Let's take a look at this video.
With Donald Trump, What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
And all of this makes all the evidence we have on Trump so much worse. We already knew Trump was a PDF. We knew he was in the Epstein files. The problem is their delay and attempts to block this bill because they are trying to get this bill blocked so it doesn't pass. Republicans are trying to block the bill. Here is when Republicans blocked it just last September.
Hearing no further comments, the question is on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. Mr. McGovern requests a roll call. The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman. No. Mr. Norman, no. Mr. Roy. No. Mr. Roy, no. Mrs. Houchin. Mr. Langworthy. Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott. No. Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith. No. Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack. No. Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern.
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scallon. Ms. Scallon, aye. Mr. Neguse. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Ledger-Fernandez. Ms. Ledger-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair.
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
4 yeas, 8 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to. Are there further amendments or discussion?
That paycheck must be something else. So it makes you wonder how they're going to try to spin this one when it does get released. The same way they shut down the government and tried to blame Democrats. There is already a Republican doing it, trying to spread a narrative to MAGA that Democrats are suddenly the people trying to block the Epstein's files, which is such a stupid argument. Because the fact is in everybody's faces, and truthfully nobody's buying it, but it's disgusting to see these type of tactics used to defend PDFs and try to cover it up after you get exposed. Because in this video right here, Congressman Tim Burchett makes an invalid request and gets told that the request is invalid. And then he tries to put a twist on it as this fake win for MAGA that's just not there. Let's take a look at this clip.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on the Judiciary be discharged from further consideration of H.R. 4405 and ask for its immediate consideration in the House.
Under guidelines consistently issued by successive speakers, as recorded in Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, the chair is constrained not to entertain the request unless it has been cleared by the bipartisan floor and committee leaderships. What purpose did the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker. We Republicans are requesting this unanimous consent. Are Democrats objecting to this request?
Chair reminds the gentleman from Tennessee that as indicated by Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, it is not a proper parliamentary inquiry to ask the chair to indicate which side of the aisle has failed under the Speaker's guidelines to clear a unanimous consent request, as was stated.
So number one, the Speaker of the House is Republican. So wouldn't that mean Republicans voted to block it? Under his theory, Tim Burchett then gets online and comes with this lie of Democrats blocking the Epstein file. That doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about? Republicans have the majority of the House. What are we actually saying here? This is why MAGA's leaving, because of circus idiots like this guy. So it actually works to our favor, but let's see what he tried to say here.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC unanimous consent of tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense, and and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now here they've had it for 4 years, and they obviously if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it, and now they're all, oh, let's get it out, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion to bring it straight to the dadgum floor, and they blocked it. They blocked it. So this is politics. It has nothing to do with what's doing what's right. I mean, it's Washington, D.C. to a T. And
I actually feel nothing but sympathy for old men like this who have not grown past the age of 5. He is stuck at such a low level of immaturity, and he just never grew past it. He's a grown man who got on camera and tried to lie to a bunch of people that ended up just calling him out anyway for being an idiot. Republicans called him out, saying that the Speaker of the House is Republican and we have the majority. What are you even saying here? MAGA is telling him he's not making sense. It's just crazy how these people never actually have a policy or something that's going to benefit our country. They don't have truth. They're not going to tell you like it is. They're just going to lie to you for their own agenda. But you can't grow until you can admit when you were wrong and say, I need to do better next time. And if you don't, You end up like this guy right here. Furthermore, there's already a vote happening next week. So what win was there to get from this in any circumstance? What, gaslighting people you were supposed to lead? That makes you a loser. Imagine having such negative leadership skills that you have to convince the people you're supposed to be leading that things are happening for them that aren't actually happening for them. That you're actually doing something for them. Because in reality, you've done nothing for them and you're doing nothing for them. You act within your own self-interest, and that's why MAGA's burning. They don't have a real leader. The most they have out of everybody in MAGA is a con man, and that is Donald Trump. And without Donald Trump, there wouldn't be a MAGA. Matter of fact, Jeffrey Epstein said this himself in an audio recording on Trump's exceptional ability to lie and manipulate, and this is back in the day. This is what Epstein allegedly had to say about Trump.
He is charming. He is able to convince people. So he tells everybody what they want to hear.
So how do you know this?
That was supposed to show you.
He has a sense of humor. He can be funny.
He's great. His ability to sell. It's very much like Clinton. Both Bill and Donald have the ability to go over to a fat, ugly woman, say, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So you probably know he had a scalp reduction. Because he had the same male pattern moment that we all have. He's not he's a horrible human being. He does nasty things to his best friends' wives. Anyone who first tries to gain your trust and then uses it to do bad things.
So you mean that Jeffrey Epstein said the exact same thing about Trump in the 2000s that we're saying about him now in the 2020s? How many times have we said that Trump plays to people's desires? I mean, he wrote it in his book released in the 1980s, The Art of the Deal, that he plays to people's desires because it's a lot stronger than reality, and he would choose that any day. The same as he's doing now almost 40 years later. And Epstein's verifying this as well, who claimed he was Trump's closest and best friend of 10 years? The same Epstein that Donald Trump wrote this birthday letter to? Voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common. Jeffrey, yes we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Donald J. Trump, with a weird drawing attached. This was also retrieved from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. But if you ask Donald Trump himself, he says he was never a fan of Jeffrey Epstein, who apparently was somebody he never respected. Trump, we saw you partying with him. To not respect someone, I mean, you sure seem to like him a lot, and to be best friends with somebody for over 10 years. According to Epstein's email, go to their house, he was coming to your house, you were taking flights with him, you were even being a PDF with him. It sounds like a pretty big fan of me, but let's see what Trump said himself in this video.
I was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein, and you watched people yesterday saying that I threw him out of a club. I didn't want anything to do with him. That was many, many years ago. It shows you one thing, that I have good taste, okay? Now, other people, they went all over with him. They went to his island. They went all over the place. He was very well known in Palm Beach. His island, whatever his island was, wherever it is, I was never there. Find out the people that went to the island. But Jeffrey Epstein was not somebody that I respected. I threw him out. In fact, I think the great James Patterson, who's a member of Mar-a-Lago, made a statement yesterday that many years ago I threw him out. I'm not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein.
It's ironic that Trump said talk to someone that's been to his island when Trump in fact has been to his island. And Jeffrey Epstein said himself in these emails, victim Mar-a-Lago, Trump said he asked me to resign, never a member ever. Of course he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. You started to separate yourself from Epstein when you realized he was going down in flames and you were going to be compromised as well. Because this was in 2019 when he was arrested only months after. And then suddenly unalive. Nothing you say adds up, but all of this evidence and your actions do. And they say if you want to know what someone's really up to, pay attention to their actions, because 70% of someone's intentions is in their actions and not what they say. Let's also not forget Trump's quote on Jeffrey Epstein about how Epstein likes young women. I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life. And even without the files being officially released yet, because there may be a vote as early as next week, more emails have been released, and Epstein Epstein calls Trump the most dangerous person alive. Recall I've told you, I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body, so yes, dangerous. 2017, after Trump became president. Let's also not forget about Katie Johnson, who sued Trump for what he did to her, allegedly on Epstein's island. But when it was time to show up in court, she had received so many death threats from different billionaires that she was too terrified to even show up, and she dropped the case. And the Epstein emails that the House Democrats released today were so bad that Trump was mentioned over 1,500 times. So it's no wonder he's been so afraid to release the Epstein files. Now, something very odd to note that also came out is that Donald Trump met up with Prince Andrew shortly before Epstein got arrested for his PDF ring. And apparently Epstein was there as well. And Prince Andrew told Epstein over email, "We'll play some more soon." Prince Andrew was sued by an Epstein victim, Virginia G, even though he claimed he never met with her. But lo and behold, there was a picture available that came to light. He denied the picture of ever being taken, but in the 2011 email from Epstein himself, it said, "Yes, she was on my plane, and yes, she had her picture taken with Andrew, as many of my employees have." And yes, that is Ghislaine Maxwell in the background. And so at the end of the day, it all comes back full circle that Epstein, Trump, and Prince Andrew met together right before Epstein was arrested. Trump gets angry about it and tries to make more posts. He gets ignored because we're not buying it, Donald Trump. You're guilty. We're going to find out just how guilty he is when the vote for the Epstein files gets released. This is insane. Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown. We're past the shutdown, Trump. You need to answer to this. No more deflecting. It's time to answer to your sins. Despite all this evidence, if you ask Caroline Leavitt, she'll get on camera and defend a PDF, as they all will. Keep a mental note of everybody that is defending this for when the Epstein files come out. But here's what she had to say, calling it a Democrat hoax, parroting her PDF leader, Donald Trump.
And it just shows how this is truly a manufactured hoax by the Democrat Party. For now they're talking about it all of a sudden because President Trump is in the Oval Office. But when Joe Biden was sitting in there, the Democrats...
There is no paycheck on this earth that is big enough that anybody would sit there and defend and justify the actions of a PDF. There's none. We've seen the emails, we've seen the evidence, we've heard from some of the victims, and she wants to sit up here and call it a hoax when there is real victims that this happened to. And if Trump wasn't in this, she wouldn't be defending this. That is the problem I take with this, and it will not be tolerated in this country. And if this is the type of blind faith MAGA follows, my only question is, what if it was your children? Because when a reporter asked Leavitt about Trump spending hours with Epstein victims, Leavitt lets MAGA know how stupid she thinks they are.
Sure. I have your statement about the new Epstein emails that have been released by House Democrats. Separate from why you believe the emails were made public, can you address their substance? Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on in this room, so I will go ahead and say it, Virginia Giuffre. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Giuffre maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her. And so I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her.
Sitting here and repeating your same three-step process, deny, defend, deflect. The fact that you would do it right here to defend a PDF for a paycheck, it's dishonorable. In better news, no one is buying anything they have to say, and everyone is calling them out left and right. An Epstein victim, Virginia G's brother, gets on camera and calls out government officials, top officials, billionaires, bankers, politicians, everybody, and says these are the people that are covering up the Epstein files. Let's take a look at this video.
It's time to release all the documents, and bear in mind, guys, these are your politics. Like, the people in these files are are your politicians. They are bankers. They are very wealthy and powerful people, and it shouldn't be up to the survivors to have to release that list. It's time for the government to protect the people and stop protecting these rich and powerful men that essentially are trying their very darn best to silence not just us, but...
Very well said, and it's finally here. Because Adelita Grijalva was finally sworn in, we have that final vote. And allegedly, more Republicans are turning and are going to vote in favor of releasing the Epstein files. But the same way 8 Democratic senators were paid off, and there were special provisions that if they voted to reopen the government and defund everybody's healthcare as the Republicans wanted, that they would get $1 million each. We will see what happens next week with the Epstein files. If you ask me, this is just too grotesque for anybody to sell their soul over. Furthermore, how is this even a debate? How is this something people are split on? How is there any disagreement in wanting to get PDFs charged for trying to harm children? To Catch a Predator at one point was one of the most popular TV shows on earth, but all of a sudden when it's the cult leader, we're still moving the goalposts over children? How far are they willing to go? But with less than 25% of the MAGA base remaining, you see that Trump's influence is severely dying and the American people are waking up to it. And Representative Robert Garcia hits the nail on the coffin. If there's nothing to hide, if there's nothing that you're protecting, why not just release the files right now? Let's see what he had to say in this video.
Response is simple. Then release all the files. If the president has nothing to hide, if the press secretary right there in her comments and statement, if they have nothing to hide at the White House or the Department of Justice, then all we want is for them to release the full files. It's very clear. You can't spend your entire campaign saying you're going to do something and make a commitment to the American people and then backtrack. And so we're going to ensure, one, we always are going to protect the victims and survivors. And if they want to clear the president's name, and more importantly, also all of the other men and powerful men that may have been involved, then release the files today. That should be the response from the White House.
President Trump has said he wasn't any American with comments.
I absolutely agree, and even J.D. Vance agrees with this sentiment. Remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a political PDF trafficking ring, and then the guy died mysteriously in the jail, and now we just don't talk about it? 9/4/2021. Weird how he changed his tune all of a sudden, huh? Because he's calling it a Democratic hoax as well. You are all disgraceful. To be this corrupt and unfit in a position of power, we need a total reform on how we run things in the United States. These people have zero integrity, and instead of leading, they gaslight. They tell MAGA to follow them with their eyes closed as they lead MAGA with the torch, and tell them to keep walking as they all walk off of the edge of a cliff. Because all they care about is power, control, and manipulation. Because the distracted population is an easily controlled one. However, we will not be easily controlled. We will not bow to a dictator, and we will especially not bow to a PDF, nor anyone who defends a PDF, because that makes you one as well. You are complicit, and that is unacceptable. And with that being said, release the Epstein files, Donald Trump. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.